fight cause I'm very nice. I practice it every night to get on this herd mic. You know I'm alert, right? You know that it ain't nothing to serve, right? And I be killing tracks to the earth like my birthright. I'm solid like sound money and you fools sound.
Let's talk about this. No introductions needed. Let's get right into it. So the whole internet has been running around with this idea that both CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are signing with AEW. In fact, one site, I believe it was Wrestling Inc., is trying to say, well, they're probably aggregating from some other site, so it's hard to tell. But some genius put out here that, AEW will be having Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan will debut on September 22nd. I don't know if that's a Dynamite. I don't know if that's a pay-per-view. I don't know what it is. But he'll be debuting there in New York at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. That's about 2 months away. So a lot of people have been flipping out, talking a good game. And I just say to myself, I love Daniel Bryan. I really do. I'm not going to take back all the positive things I said about him. At the end of the day, my response is, so what? So what? CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, sign both of them. Sign them at the same time. Have them debut in the same segment. It won't matter in 2 months. Because the AEW is not booking their show. They're chasing pops. That's what's going on here. All right? It's fan service. It's titties on every page. That's what's going on here. I don't care who they sign. They have to have a surprise every single week. It has to be a no disqualification match every single week. None of this stuff matters. I'm recording this before I record my Dynamite review. Okay? On this episode of Dynamite, or Fyter Fest, or whatever the fuck they're calling it, I saw Christian on Dark. Remember when he was a huge debut that they sold pay-per-views saying that he was a game changer? I saw Christian. I just said Christian. I just saw Sting playing footsie with Orange Cassidy. Remember, he's going to legitimize the company. He's going to make new stars. What difference does it make if in 2 months you don't do anything with those guys? Who gives a fuck if you sign them? Sign them. Please sign them. Please. Because then in 3 months, it's going to be, unless you sign anybody else other than Vince, nobody's going to give a shit. At some point, you're going to hit a critical mass where people are going to say, all right, there's nobody else for you to possibly sign that's still active. Now write a fucking TV show that makes sense. Now build storylines. Now make stars. Now do something other than turning the fucking lights off. Or you could just sign Daniel Bryan and then wait for April for WWE to release some more people, and then you can sign them too. None of this shit fucking matters, man. I love these. For starters, CM Punk is not my guy. I was a fan of CM Punk in 2009 when he wrestled Jeff Hardy. I was a fan in 2011 when he did the Nexus thing. I was a big deal. I thought the Summer of Punk was pretty good. But for me, CM Punk is a one promo guy. Guy cut one promo 10 years ago, and folks are still gassed off of it. I never bought into CM Punk as being some gigantic main event guy. CM Punk was a main event guy when he was wrestling main event guys. Now, Daniel Bryan is legit. I give Daniel Bryan his credit. Daniel Bryan is legit. You could put Daniel Bryan in the main event with most anybody, and I'll be interested. CM Punk, outside, as soon as you get the Moxley match, who cares after that? Really, once you get Moxley and Punk going back and forth, and you have that big match, after that, then what? I just saw Jon Moxley, who was supposed to be the Stone Cold Steve Austin of AEW, lose to some J-Bro named Lance Archer, who he ain't been doing shit since he lost the title. I'm talking about Jon Moxley now. They've signed all of these guys, but it ain't about the names. It's about what you do with them. That's the problem. That's the problem WCW had. WCW signed Hall, signed Nash, did something with them. Because they weren't really big draws in the WWE. See, that's the difference, right? They signed names, but then they made them bigger names. Because Hall and Nash, as members of the NWO, far greater than Diesel and Razor Ramon. Without question. Their real names are far more important to their legacy than the characters Vince McMahon gave them. Right? They increased it. But also look what WCW did to Bret Hart. When they handed Bret Hart to them on a silver platter, what did they do? They fucked them over. Doesn't mean anything. Vince handed them Hulk Hogan. And for 2 or 3 years, they didn't do shit with him. It was until the heel turn that Hogan really got hot. Prior to that, Hogan just went to do Hogan things. He was wrestling Vader. He was wrestling Flair. He was wrestling fucking Booty Man, which is a Brutus the Barber Beefcake. None of that shit was really moving the needle. It was good business for WCW because it was more than what they were doing, which is the same conversation you have to have when it comes to guys like Kenny Omega, right? I remember I saw some guys on the internet. They say, "Oh well, Kenny Omega is not being a TV draw for Impact," and some guys say you're cherry picking because you're getting the best pay-per-view buy rates they've ever had. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. They are, but look at what the pay-per-view buy rates were before. They were in the toilet. If it went from 0 to 5, then you did good. If it went from 5 to 10, you did good. I don't know what the buy rates are. Let's say they're 50,000. That's great. That's great. If it's more than what they were doing, it's obviously better. But that doesn't mean that it's a great long-term idea. And it doesn't mean that they're using somebody to the best of their ability. You can sign whoever you want. It is not the names. And hell, Vince McMahon have shown you that. You can bring in whoever you want. But if the creative sucks, if there's no real plan outside of, okay, we've done this, now we have to find some way of booking this guy. Do you think when they signed Christian, their idea was to put him with fucking Jurassic Express? You think that was the long-term plan? Oh, we're going to sign Christian, a bona fide Hall of Famer, well, he should be anyway. Guys over the age of 40, used to be retired, now getting back in the ring. My idea is to give him fucking Marco Stunts. That ain't the plan. That wasn't the plan. Do you think it was in the plan when they signed Sting to have him in the ring playing fucking patty cake with Orange Cassidy? That wasn't the plan. There was no fucking plan. So I don't care who they sign. They can sign them all. Sign Undertaker, why don't you? Sign Ultimate Warrior. Sign whoever you want. Sign Macho Man Randy Savage. Sign fucking Ted DiBiase. Sign whoever you want. It won't mean a lick of fucking shit. If you can't write a goddamn wrestling show, the talent does not matter. The talent doesn't matter. You can book somebody who's a relative no-name, book them well, and he will get over, and he will become then CM Punk or Daniel Bryan or somebody on that level. How do you think they got where they were? Nobody gave a fuck about them when they first signed. That's why they were struggling. It takes for you to actually invest in them and invest in what they're doing. And then what? Again, this is going to be my second point. My second point is that there is only so much time on TV. And that's why I'm sitting here kind of with a grin on my face about the whole Christian and Jurassic Express thing. Because there's only so much time on TV. No matter how many guys you sign, you only got so many hours in the day. You only got so much time. So what are you going to do? Really? You're talking about, well, we're trying to push all these young guys. They're like, oh, really? You're going to push all the young guys while you're continuously signing 30-plus-year-old guys with concussion issues and a bunch of other shit? 50-year-old legends? That's okay. All right. Look, I get it. You need to have names in order to get, the average person to watch your show. I get that. I respect it. I ain't got no problem with that. I want Daniel Bryan and CM Punk to be happy. I want wrestling fans to be happy. I want Tony Khan to be happy. I want Vince McMahon to be happy. I want everybody to get what they want. But I'm telling you, it ain't going to change a thing. It ain't going to change nothing. Because after the initial pop and the initial TV, people bump a little bit, try to see what you're doing on TV. The moment they get into some folderol with some of these bullshit ass wrestlers you got on TV that are not over, that nobody cares about, people are going to change the fucking channel just like they used to. And Vince, it's the one thing that you should have learned from Vince. Vince brought in Scott Steiner. Remember that? What did he do? He put him with Triple H. Started him at the top. Had no plan after that. No plan after that. He got a good run with Triple H. The batches were bad, but he got a good main event run with Triple H. No plan with after that. It's still fucking Scott Steiner. There was no plan. Now, TNA had a bunch of guys. So everybody who's like, oh, AEW gets CM Punk, AEW gets Daniel Bryan. Oh, it's going to be a game changer. We're finally going to have fun again. It's like, go through the list of people who was on TNA's roster. And some of those people were on the roster all at the same fucking time. Hall, Nash, Booker T, Mick Foley, Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, Hogan, the Dudley Boys. I mean, they just had so many people. It didn't do him a lick of fucking good. It didn't do him a lick of, and they actually did some good stuff for some of those people. You know, it's just, names are not the answer. What is the answer is good creative. AEW is too busy trying to chase pops and do fan service. Book the fucking show. Stop just, look, you can write as many checks as you want. That's why I don't care. Write as many checks as you want, dog. Sign as many checks as you sign everybody. Fuck, sign Booker T. Sign everybody. I don't care. Sign Zach Gowen. Call him a legend. Put him in the ring. Who cares? Ultimately, what you do with him ain't shit. Remember, they did a big deal about Big Show signing. That hasn't amounted to anything. They made a big deal out of Mark Henry signing. It hasn't amounted to anything. They made a big deal about a lot of these people signing. Hell, some of the people that are barely on TV now, they made a big deal out of signing them. Guys like Sammy Guevara. Guys like, MJF. Guys like Orange Cassidy. Remember, Orange Cassidy was supposed to be this big, huge star. He was in a nothing match on the show. He's not doing anything. For a long time, for a couple of months there, Miro wasn't doing shit. It ain't about the talent, man. It's about what you do with it. You can make talent. You can sign names. You can do whatever you want. But what about after the big pop? Then what? After you bring in everybody that you can bring in, then what? Then what? What are you going to do with them? You're going to have good matches. Like, oh, okay. The good match fairy is going to come and show up and sprinkle all over AEW. And then what? 800,000 people, 900,000 people, a little over 1 million. And then it slips back down to 800,000. Then it slips back up. It's not like it's going to be 2 million people because you signed CM Punk. The guy ain't been relevant in 7 fucking years. I mean, all right. All right, go for it, man. Shoot your shot. Spend all the money because we know he got it, so go ahead and spend it. Give Daniel Bryan whatever he wants. Give CM Punk whatever he wants because this is the last option you really got. Go ahead, sign him. You'll have all the toys in the world, and it won't make like a lick of fucking difference. It won't make a lick of difference if the creative doesn't change. Period. All right. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.
Your skin tone, so why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy guys